Do you think the Mueller investigation is safe from our president?
I think so long as Bob Mueller is in the position that he is and he gets to choose the team that he gets to choose, I have confidence. I mean, in other words, if the spirit of the question is in part, are Bob Mueller or members of his team going to be intimidated by a lot of talk? I don't think so. Or worried that it's not worth it because they'll just get pardoned? I don't think so. But I think Sally and I would agree that there are ways to stymie the thing structurally that might cause Congress to then react.
Is there something between intimidation and firing that we should worry about?
I feel there should be a lot of worry about a lot of things.
Isn't that an up message here for the morning?
I just do.
Worry.
But look, I think if it were a different person and a different team, I think my answers would be even more pessimistic. I have a lot of confidence. Sally and I both worked with Bob Mueller over a number of years, and he's about as steadfast a person that there is. So I have confidence. And by the way, I have confidence also. There's a lot of people here who want him to find something, and he may not, as Sally said, it's a high bar. He may not decide that there is an offense to be charged or referred to the House of Representatives for impeachment. And I would hope, I'll respect that. And I think people who are on one side of the fence should respect that also. Everyone's worried. You're asking the question from one perspective, like what happens, is he going to be intimidated into not bringing a case? I think it's a good thing, no matter what you think politically about the president. I know a lot of people don't like the president. But I also don't want him to be intimidated or pressured into doing something in the other direction,
right,
in bringing a charge. The point of it is, and people keep saying he's assembling a team that's going to bring a charge, and that's the team that he's put together. I hope that we want still in America people to be putting together a team like you had at the Justice Department, like I had at the U.S. Attorney's Office, whose goal only is to find out the truth and apply the law and facts fairly. And sometimes that means bringing a case. And I've gotten criticized for cases I've brought, and sometimes that means don't bring a case. And I've gotten more criticism for that. But I think you want people to be thoughtful about what the law allows and doesn't, and not be intimidated in either direction.
Okay, guys, couple of 3 minutes left. I want to get us out of here on this. I want to believe that, good or bad, that somehow once the Trump administration leaves the White House after 4 or 8 years, we'll no longer be bedeviled by such questions of the rule of law. Has anything happened so far in this world that's irreversible, or do you feel like it's only a matter of time till everything bounces back the way it was before? Take it.
Well, the danger to me of it becoming irreversible is if we normalize this conduct. And look, I get that it's absolutely exhausting to be outraged day after day, and it seems that we move from one thing and then it doesn't even last 24 hours before we move on to the next thing. But the way that this becomes lasting and permanent is if out of our fatigue, we start to normalize this. And we then project that on to the next administration or the next attorney general or the next president. I'm not sensing that from folks right now, but it's hard to keep up with this, but I think it's absolutely essential. And I think that really comes from like folks in this room, from the public to continue to demand and to continue to be heard that this is not normal, this is not acceptable, and this is not what our country stands for.
Preet?
I agree completely with Sally. The good news in all of this is I don't think there's anything reversible. There's a sowing of doubt among a lot of people who are political supporters of the president that anything that is against the interests of the president is necessarily bad and evil and not lawful. And I worry about that becoming normalized, like Sally said. But what you also have is brave, courageous acts on the part of people who are just doing their job, like the judges who don't care if they're being intimidated and being called out on Twitter to 33 million followers. They're just doing their job. Sally Yates deciding in her judgment and consistent with the law and her conscience and talking to other people at the department not to do a thing that she thinks is wrong and violate her oath. Reporters doing the same thing, people within the department doing the same thing. And I think sometimes when you have threats to what democratic society should be about, there are people who respond to those threats. And so I will have much, much more optimism about it if I continue to see this kind of reaction to the bad things that are happening. So that's why I'm optimistic.
Real quick, when I asked on Twitter the other day for questions for y'all, it seems like most of them had to do with when you were going to be running for office. Sally, apparently there's some curiosity about whether you might actually run for the White House. What's next for you both? Preet,
I was born in India, so I'm not running for the White House. I'm just basically trying not to get deported in the near future. All right. So.
Sally, how about you?
I can't see running for office. I believe in public service, but my husband keeps telling me to never say never about running for some elected office, but that's just not something I've ever really been drawn to.
Now, Preet, I know you're making noises about joining us here in the chattering class. Are you going to be in my seat next year?
Sure.
But you do have one of the highest rated podcasts on iTunes, I'm told.
ApplePodcast.com.
Thank you for asking.
Preet. We have 3 episodes on. We have another one tomorrow. I got to put my kids through college somehow. But I'm also writing a book, and I've become a legal analyst at CNN, and I'm doing a lot of things. I'm trying to delay the time as long as possible before I might have to go to a law firm and represent bad.
Well, thank you both for being here, and thank you all for being here.